Hello students, how are you? I welcome you all to this online class GST in India, a simplified overview part 12. But before the starting of the class, I will make an appeal to all of you that many of your friends may be from unprivileged sections. They may not have proper internet connectivity, they may not have smart mobile phone. So they may be in trouble during these days. So I request you, I make an appeal to you that please help out those friends who are from the unprivileged sections. So please prepare notes of this class and be a COVID warrior and take some responsibility to help them. So let us start the class. In today's class, you see, I will tell you about the free supply. Sometime in GST, even without charging any price, free of cost, if you make a free supply, free sale, even then it may be liable to be taxed under GST. So the question of free supply normally comes in case of related person. Whom you give the free supply? Naturally to a related person. So who are the related persons and what is free supply? Next, what do you mean by composite supply and what is mixed supply? Many of the times you visit to the restaurant and there you take a number of items in a combo pack. So that may be a composite supply or that may be a mixed supply. So what is mixed supply and composite supply? We will discuss very interesting topic this is. So let us start. Concentrate on the slide. Meaning of free supply. Sometimes free supply, that is without charging any price, as a gift or sample is also chargeable under GST. So if you make a gift or if you give as a sample and make free supply, even then it may be taxable under GST. Schedule 1 and Section 7 of the GST Act says that it is taxable only for the business purpose only, not in case of own consumption. But it should not be for the private purpose or for the private purpose of consumption, but it is in the furtherance of the business, in the course of the business only. So in case of business purpose, this free supply is taxable. Now free disposal or transfer of any business asset treated as deemed supply. You see, any free disposal or transfer of any business asset, if a business asset is freely transferred or freely disposed of, even then it may be treated as deemed supply. Say inventory of or stock of the goods where ITC has been availed. But ITC input tax credit must be availed in that case. Here are two options. The rule is given, valuation rule 2, and if ITC is not availed, then not treated as supply of goods. So ITC may be charged, availed, or ITC may not be availed. So let us see in the next slide. Option 1, when the ITC is availed, suppose an asset has been bought for rupees 1 lakh and at the time of purchase of the asset, ITC input tax credit has been availed rupees 5,000. Then if input tax credit is availed 5,000, then depreciation of on the asset will be charged on rupees 1 lakh only. Then that is the option 1. In that case, it will be treated as deemed supply. But option 2 is that ITC 5,000 benefit is not taken. Here in the second option you may not avail this 5,000 input tax credit benefit. Then you can charge the depreciation on 1 lakh 5,000 because 1 lakh is the price of the cost of the asset and 5,000 you have not claimed the ITC benefit. So that is another cost. So the cost of the asset becomes 1 lakh 5,000 and your depreciation will be charged on 1,05,000. So this is the second option. So under first option, it is treated as deemed supply, where the price of the asset is not available. It can be valued at fair market value. Suppose in certain cases, suppose the price of the asset is not available. A very long back an asset has been purchased, and after suppose after many years, say 20 to after 30 years, the asset has been sold or disposed of. Then the cost price of the asset is unknown. Then in that case, we may take the fair market value, or we can take the substitute fair market value of the similar asset, or third option is also there, 110% of the cost of the production. So I am not going to complicate it, but there are three options. And in the case where the cost of the asset is not known, otherwise normally it is known, then we can do accordingly. ITC benefit is taken, then the deemed supply will be treated. Otherwise not. Now you see supply of goods or services. If goods or services are supplied to any related person for business treated as deemed supply. Suppose any goods or service to any related person. Now who is a related person? I will discuss in the next slide. Very soon we will know it. So time being, you know that to any related person within your family members, to your business relatives. So any related person you supply the goods or services in the course of business, then it will be treated as deemed supply and will be liable to be taxed under GST. Supply of goods only. Here not service, only goods. Supply of goods from principal to agent. If a principal supplies goods to the agent, not service, or vice versa, then it is also taxable, treated as taxable supply. Because either principal sends the goods to agent or agent supplies the goods to the principal. In that case, it is also treated as taxable. Though it is free of cost, it is free supply, but as the principal or agent, there is some business interest. Otherwise, the question of free supply does not arise. So here it is treated as taxable supply. Now let us switch over to the next slide. Now you see import of free service by any person from abroad, from a relative or from his own business firm. Suppose any of your business relative or any of your own business firm. Suppose you have a business firm abroad and your one of the branch office is in India. So from head office to branch office or from branch office to head office, service may be freely supplied. Or your relative from abroad can give you the free service. So any import of free service with consideration is always taxable. So free import of service with price is always taxable. But whether or not in the course of furtherance of the business, whether it is in case of the business or not in course of business, in both the cases it is taxable, because if the price is charged, it is with consideration. But if the price is not charged, if the free supply of import service, if the service is imported free of cost, then in that case import of service without consideration between the related or distinct person is only taxable in case of furtherance of the business only. So free import of service is supplied if in the course of business, in the furtherance of the business, in that case it is treated as taxable. But if it is for the personal purpose, not in the course of business, then it may not be taxable. For example, import of free without price, that is free interior designing service for own house, not for the business, is not treated as supply, hence not taxable. So suppose one of your relative supplies you the free service, free import service for the interior designing of your house personally. So it is your personal service, not in the course of the business. Then it is not taxable. But the same service is given to your business premises. If the interior designing of the business house, in that case, the service becomes in the furtherance of the business. Then in that case, it may be treated as supply of free service, that is brought under the GST bracket. So I think that you get to my point. Now let us switch over to the next slide. Now you see the point comes here, the related person. Now who are the related persons? Under section 15 it includes all partners of the partnership firm. In a partnership firm there are two or more partners. So partners have their business interest, and any transaction between the two partners, though it is free of course, so any free supply between the partners that will be brought under the GST bracket, it will not be treated as, though it is free supply, but it will be brought under the tax bracket of the GST. So all the partners of the partnership firm are treated as related person. Now who another, a common director or officer of two companies. If there is a common director of the two companies, then the common director has the common interest. So any transaction between the two companies, in that case, yeah, the person common director will be treated as the related person between the two companies. Now gift services by employer to employee. If the employer gives free gift to the employee, that is value more than 50,000 in a financial year, then it is made taxable, because here employer and employee will be treated as related person, but here up to 50,000 a relaxation has been given, because sometime with the services of the employee, suppose employer is impressed with the great dedication of the employee and he want to give certain gift as a mark of appreciation of his job, and then up to a level of 50,000 it is exempted. So above 50,000 it is treated as taxable, otherwise not it is mentioned. But in reverse case it is supply of goods. But if the employee gives some gift to the employer, then in the reverse case it is treated as supply of goods and it is taxable. But in case of service, it is not treated as supply of service, because employee is bound to supply service to the employer at his best. So any employee's service towards the employer is not taxable, while the supply of goods by the employee to the employer is also treated as supply of goods. Now again you see gift or service within family members of the same family. If gift or service within the same family members for the business purpose, then it is again here family members are treated as related person and it is here taxable because it is for the business purpose. But if within the family members, suppose family members means here children, parents or grandparents. So if parents give some gift to the children, it is not taxable because it is personal. But for the in the course of business, in the business, if any gift is given, then that is not personal. In the course of business, then they are treated as related person and free supply is here taxable. I think that you get to my point. So this is over. Now the free supply is, I think that you can follow my point. Now another point here you see person's ownership in a company having 25% control or more shares. If a person in a company has more than 25% shares or minimum 25% shares, so in that case he controls and he has some control over that company, so that will be treated as related person. If a person is a director of a company and another company that is a subsidiary company of the first one, then you see that he controls or holds some power over the another person. Suppose there are two companies, one is holding company and another is subsidiary company, then naturally the director of the holding company has a control over the director of the subsidiary company, so they will be treated as related person. Again, if both of them are directly or indirectly controlled by a third person, if both of them are directly or indirectly controlled by a third person, in that case they are also treated as related person. If a person register himself under GST with same PAN number in two or more states. Now you see, if a person register himself under the registration chapter, I have made it clear. The timing you know this much, that if a person registered in more than two places in the more than two states under the same PAN number and makes free supply from one state to another, in that case it is taxable under GST because he will be treated as distinct person as specified under section 25. So under the same pan, if goods are free supplied from one state to another, in that case the person will be treated as distinct person. So I think that the definition of related person or distinct person is clear to you, and under GST any transaction between the such related person for the purpose of business are made taxable. Now you see, let us switch over to the another interesting topic, that is composite supply. Now you see what is composite supply. When a combination or two or more supply, that is sometime we visit some restaurant or we purchase certain goods in a package where two or more items are supplied, two or more items are supplied at a time. That item may be G plus G, that means goods plus goods. There may be two goods, or S plus A, service plus service. There may be two services at a time, or one good and one service there may be. Or there may be more than two items, there may be three. Goods plus service, service plus goods. So there may be two or more supply which are naturally bundled. You see, there is another condition, two or more goods are supplied at a time and they are naturally bundled. They are, the package is given, the package is natural package, not artificially made, not forcefully packed, along with a principal supply. In this package, in where two or more supplies are given all together, one will be the principal supply and the rest, another one or another two will be the ancillary supply or subsidiary supply. So here you see the points are two or more supply are given all together, and one is they are naturally bundled, and there is one is the principal supply or main supply in the normal course of business. It must be in the normal course of business, and another supply which is given, that is the rest are the ancillary supply or incidental to it for better enjoyment or the better comfort or the better support. Suppose two or three goods or supply services are all together supplied to you. So one is the main supply and other supplies are ancillary for the support of the main supply, for the comfort of the main supply, for the better enjoyment of the main supply. So in that case we can say that that is a composite supply. Now you see, ancillary supply has no separate use, because without main supply, ancillary supply has no utility, and cannot be sold together, can be sold together only. So here in case of composite supply, the package is sold together only, individually it cannot be sold. Suppose you will say that I don't want this main supply, I want to purchase the ancillary only. Out of three items I want to purchase this one, rest two I don't want to purchase. It is not possible, because without main supply the ancillary has no utility. So in that case that cannot be sold separately, individually it cannot be sold, it can be sold together in a combo pack. So they are dependent on main supply. So what we can say, in case of composite supply, they are independent, they are not independent, but they are dependent on each other, and they mainly depend on the main supply. Without main supply, ancillary supply has no utility. So from an example it will be more clear to you. So we should note the point that what are the conditions here, two or more supply are given altogether, they are naturally bundled, number two. Number three, there is one principal supply or main supply, and number four, it must be in the normal course of business. And for understanding, we can also know that ancillary supply cannot be separately used or cannot be individually supplied, and they are dependent on each other. Now example you can say, it is normally advertised in a combo pack. It is advertised normally in a combo pack. Majority of the supplier wants and prefers it in the combo pack. They generally, customer also demand it, because it is the necessity of the customer also, and supplier also advertise it in a composite way. So you see, composite supply is the charge at the rate, how the taxability, how such supply is charged according to the main supply, according to the principal supply. So though three items are there, there may be four items, there may be two items, whatever may be the items, all items will be charged at a one rate, that is according to the principal supply, according to the main supply. Now you see, in case of hotel accommodation, suppose we book in a hotel for accommodation purpose. Then the hotel owner or the supplier say that with the room, when you book the room, you will get the breakfast is free. Also, a few newspapers also you get free during the morning hours, and laundry service is also given free. So when you book the hotel, breakfast is free, newspapers are free, and laundry service is free supply. So it is a combo pack. It is a package when you book the room. Suppose now you want that I only want breakfast. I don't want to book the room. Accommodation is not required. So it is not possible. The hotel owner will not supply you only breakfast or newspapers or laundry service. So without main supply, here main supply is what? Main supply is hotel accommodation. So with the room, main is the room booking, and along with the room booking, the ancillary supply you are getting breakfast, newspapers, and laundry. So all will be charged according to the main supply rate, that is the hotel accommodation rate. The same GST will be charged on all together for all these. So I think that you can understand what is composite supply. Now another example we can say, take mobile with free back cover and tempered glass. So when you purchase a mobile phone, then the dealer will tell you that a back cover, you will get the free back cover and tempered glass will be supplied with you. So it is another facility, and it is a combo package. Now you see that no, I don't want this mobile phone, only this tempered glass or back cover. Without purchasing this phone, they may not supply it. So it is a combo pack. Again, air service. In case of air travel, you see that food package is given, insurance coverage is there. So along with the air ticket, these are ancillary supplies. Again with the travel tour, suppose you make a pilgrimage tour with a travel tour for a few days, suppose. So in that travel tour, your travel tour is the main supply. So along with the tour, they will say that your food package is free. You will get free fooding, and they can also provide you free accommodation, and they can give you the insurance coverage also. So these are additional or ancillary supplies which are provided to you. So here main supply is the travel tour. So with the travel package, these are ancillary supplies, and it is the taxability is charged according to the main supply. So it is dependent on the main supply. It is not independent. Without traveling, if you want food package or insurance coverage, it is not possible to supply. So these are some examples of the composite supply. I can think that you can better follow it. Now let us switch over to the another point, that is mixed supply. Now you see, after the composite supply, mixed supply. It is also when in a combination of two or more supply. Here again the same thing, two or more supplies are there. That may be goods plus goods, that may be service and service, that may be goods plus service, like this. So anything, there may be goods plus goods, service, or goods plus service. There may be two, or there may be more than two, three, four. This type of supplies may be there, but they are not naturally bundled, but artificially bundled. You see, in the composite supply we got it that they are naturally bundled. They are natural. But here it is not natural. They are artificially managed. They are artificially bundled. Forcefully they have packed it. They have made it. The supplier has willingly packed it in the combo packs. They are willingly supplying, forcefully supplying you that this is a combo pack. You have to purchase it with the package. In the ordinary course of business, but served as one single supply. So here the same things are there, but it is artificially, but they are given in the course of business, and in a single supply they are giving you. It is called mixed supply. There is no bifurcation like principal and main supply. In case of mixed supply, there is no main supply, no principal supply, and no ancillary or incidental supply. All are equally important. If there are two or three supply, all two or three are equally important. There is nothing like main supply or ancillary supply. They are independent of each other. All supplies are independent. They are not dependent on each other. Hence, may be individually sold. These can be individually sold because they are independent. They can be individually sold, and they are not naturally bundled. They are artificially packed. So you see, here we can say a supply which is not a composite supply is a mixed supply. So what is mixed supply? A supply which is not composite supply is a mixed supply. Because a composite supply is just reverse of mixed supply, and mixed supply is reverse of the composite supply. So we can say that in case of mixed supply, they are artificially packed up and they are independent items. They can individually sold or purchased if the dealer agrees. But the dealer makes the make it forcefully combination of these package. Now you take the example, then you can understand it better. Let us see the example. Mixed supply in charge is the highest rate from the mixed supply. I will talk it later on. First you see example. Wristwatch and a spray bottle in a pack. Suppose sometime you visit to a mall and you find a pack of wristwatch and a spray bottle is packed all together. And the price is fixed. You are bound to purchase in a package. So with a wristwatch you are getting a spray bottle. Now you see it can be individually, separately it can be sold or purchased. But the dealer has willingly packed up this. So there is nothing like main supply and they have not artificially bundled. You can purchase spray bottle, no connection of between these two. So they are independent each of them are independent. So this package is mixed supply. Here mobile phone and a pen drive. With a mobile phone, a pen drive is given free. So it is a package. When you purchase the mobile phone, pen drive is also there. So it can be individually, separately purchased, but the dealer has made it a package. Again, festival combo pack there. Sometimes there are so many in case of festival. When the festival comes, say in case of Christmas or Diwali or in case of Eid, what you see that suppose there are some the dealer has made some package. Say there is a photo frame, there is a photo, there is a flower pot, and there is a toy. Is not it? So these are three things are packed all together. So you are bound to purchase the three things all together. So in case of Christmas, Diwali or Eid, what you do? You are purchasing some gift items. You are purchasing toy for your children, or you will get a flower pot and your devotee's photo also there. So while purchasing these three things all together, this is a mixed supply. And in this case, what will happen? How it will be charged? In case of composite supply, you find it that it will be charged according to the main supply. But in case of mixed supply, there is no main supply, so it will be charged at the highest rate from the mixed supply. So in case suppose here wristwatch and spray bottle, these are two. So out of these two, which has the higher price, which has the highest rate GST, that will be applicable for both the two. In case of mobile and pen drive, the highest rate applicable of the GST will be applicable in case of both these three. In case of these three, photo, flower pot, and toy, the out of these three, the highest rate of the any of the item which bears the highest rate of the GST will be applicable, and accordingly it will be taxed. So I think that your concept about the mixed supply and composite supply is very much clear, and you can also follow the free supply also. And here you see, however, in case of RCM, in case of reverse charge mechanism, chargeability on mixed and composite supply at present is no question arise. So there is no RCM chargeable on mixed and composite supply. So in these two mixed and composite case, our question of RCM chargeability does not arise. So this is all about today's class, and once again I request you that please, in the current crisis, be a COVID warrior and help out the needy, your student friends, so that they can also, with the help of you, they will be able to achieve some benefit of my classes. Dear students, try to do something for your friends when you have nothing to do. But stay safe, take care. Thank you.